I'm Jeff Williams. I was asked by Philip Woodlawn to show y'all some basic duck calling instruction. I was originally from Arkansas. I grew up duck hunting with my family, and they started entering me into duck calling competitions in Arkansas. That's a pretty big thing there. I won the Junior Worlds when I was 13 years old, and I won the United States Open Championship when I was about 20. Today I'm just going to show y'all 3 basic calls. I'm going to show you how to quack your duck call, how to do a close-in call, and then how to do a feed call. We'll go through some real basics of duck calling. The first basic of how to blow a duck call is simply that you learn to blow from your diaphragm. You get your air from down in your chest and your body. You do not blow a call like this. From your cheeks. Do not let your cheeks expand. You want to keep your cheeks in. Learn how to make a sound like when I'm doing a quack on a duck call, I'm saying the word what, hoot, like this, what. I hold the duck call a special way. I say a special way. I hold it so that I'm working the last 3 fingers of my hand. If you're left-handed, that'd be fine. Either way, it doesn't matter, right-handed, whatever you are. But I'm barely working these fingers. I'm not just working them like that, but they're together. We call this a cup. If you don't hold the call properly, it won't sound properly. For instance, if I'd had no hand on it at all, it'd be and what you're doing with your hand is you're basically imitating a duck's bill, which would be when he quacks, his bill opens, quack, quack, quack. So it's not necessary to go. If you don't open your fingers, it would sound like this. You'll be choking off the air to the call. So that's how you hold the duck call. I hold it like this, where I work my last 3 fingers. I don't hold it like this. I hold it just like this. Okay? All right. Second thing is, let's go back to everything's going to work off of if you can quack the call properly. You can call a lot of ducks in by just quacking the call right. You want a duck calling is like notes in music. You have flat notes, you have notes that have a roll in them or whatever. You want a flat note, you want a quack that's just a quack, short, it'll sound like this. All these sounds that I'm making are the sounds that a mallard duck makes. You can call any duck that I think is worth shooting with a mallard duck call. All the ducks, they say, when they're hatched as little chicks and whatever up on the prairies, they hear mallards in the distance. They become accustomed to that sound. Of course, if you hunt mallards, it definitely works, but you can kill pintails, gadwalls, teal, it doesn't matter. What you would not want to do is you don't want to make a quacking sound. This is a scare call a hen mallard makes when it comes up off the water. If you walk up on one, it's scared as they're flying off. So they can tell the difference between that sound and a If you'll notice, I'm probably getting ahead of myself here a little bit. I know y'all are beginners, and when I place the call to my mouth, it's resting on my bottom lip and against my top lip. You notice my cheeks don't move at all. If you've played any kind of instrument, probably like a trumpet or whatever, it's going to be real similar to that. The next set of calls that I would do are going to be called the call that I use the most when I'm hunting. It's a comeback call. It's like when the ducks are flying and you're trying to get them to come back to you. And all it really is a series of quacks. It's going to be a 4 to 6 note call. It starts with the longest note first, or the second to longest note, and then they just taper down, and it sounds like. And there's a variety of those. Ducks, especially if you've hunted mallards and they're working in big flocks, they get excited just like people do. The hen ducks do all of the calling as far as the quacking. they'll be making these comeback call sounds in the air. It's one of the most fun parts or exciting parts of duck hunting to me, to hear that. Their cadence will get faster as they're getting more circling, and it's getting tighter and tighter, and they're getting closer to coming in. And a difference in these comeback calls could be something as such as this. Here it would be just a regular comeback call, like a duck that's out there on the water swimming around lazy. And when they're in the air, when they're really working, it may get a lot faster, like in a minute. I'll kind of go through like if I'm calling some ducks, and you get to see how all this stuff works together. But again, all that is a whack, 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 whack. And the best way to learn that would be to learn, first of all, you got to learn how to blow a basic note, a basic quack, and then you need to exaggerate these things. Like for instance, you could start with trying to get the first note out. It's going to be the longest. And the second note's a little shorter, a little shorter, a little shorter, and it's about a 5 note. But you could practice by going, so that you start to learn that cadence. And then as you get that down, then you can start to bring it together to where it sounds like that. The last call that I'm going to teach you is sort of a feed call. And that's the hardest call, or at least it was for me to learn. I was about 10 years old when I finally got that and really struggled with it, probably about 10 or 11. But there's an easy way to do this when you're for hunting or whatever, and it's all it is I say the word took. When you say the word took, your tongue will touch the roof of your mouth. A T sound. Tuck, 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 tuck. Then again, with the air coming from your diaphragm, you're getting a deeper sound in the call. Tuck, 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 tuck. A duck feed call sound, or a chatter sound. Sometimes they'll make this sound in the air. Again, it is a sound that I think they're familiar with, and when I'm duck hunting and you're calling ducks, I don't like periods of silence too much when ducks are working. I like to still give them a little something to keep them kind of fixed and coming on into the duck blind, or if you're standing like I do in flooded timber by a tree. And so I'm taking the word took and I'm starting to chop it up. Real ducks sound sort of like this when they're feed calling. An advanced version of that is when you can start to go tucka 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 in the call, and it'll sound like tucka 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 tucka. And as you speed that up, it will sound like. And again, what I like to do is, and what you should do, is take little short segments of that and chop it up like real ducks. Real ducks don't go, but they will go. So that it sounds realistic. Those are the 3 calls. That's really all you need to know. There's a call called the hail call. That's a real long call, and all it is a comeback call, really extended. I very rarely ever use it hunting. It's something that we did in contest calling. It sounds real good when you do it on a stage, or it's got a ringing tone to it when it's done properly. But for right now, I think what we need to do is just focus on a quack, a comeback call, and learn how to chuckle. What do we call chuckle on the call a little bit? When I'm hunting, let's just say mallards in Arkansas, like I hunt, and I'm in the timber, and you look and you see a flight of ducks, and somebody says, hey, right there, a whistle sound, and we look, and so myself, if I'm by myself, or there'll be a group of men, we'll start calling and we'll start blowing comeback calls. Making a lot of noise and trying to get those birds saying, okay, over there, there's other ducks. Start getting them to move our way. As the ducks get closer, we'll tone down the calling and get quieter with it. really get close and get overhead, we'll start chuckling. Ducks circle over us, they're going back around again. Let them get out there a certain distance, hit them with a comeback call. You want that duck to really hook around when you do that. Now he's coming back. Hopefully at that time they start feathering down and boom, you can take your shot or whatever. Some days they don't, some days they're shy, they whatever, wind's blowing, other problems, they'll fly over you. You continue that same pattern, same thing. As they get out, you try to hook them back. As they get close, chuckle at them, transfix them, quack. And that's about all there is to it. So anyway, Philip, glad that you gave me a call, and guys, I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person today. I am actually going to Arkansas to my duck camp, and I'm going to be deer hunting for a few days and getting things ready for the upcoming duck season. But I hope that a few of these tips will help y'all get started. That's how I was taught. And again, the basics: learn to blow from here. Do not let your cheeks expand. It doesn't matter if you have this is a single reed duck call.